And the road to redemption is rarely a straight line. What resonates with you the most about Pamela so far? What are you most curious about? Pamela's story really highlights the ripple effects of trauma. We see how Kevin's abuse and Charles's manipulations, they just create this constant state of fear and uncertainty in her life. So
Yeah.
she's always on edge, never quite feeling safe.
Like a pressure cooker. Right.
Yeah.
She's dealing with so much internally, externally.
Hmm.
Speaking of pressure, I found it interesting how the source material draws a parallel between Pamela's personal crisis and, well, this major world event happening at the time, the Gulf War.
Oh, that's a really insightful observation.
Right.
Yeah, it's not explicitly stated, but the timing of the story aligns with the Gulf War. And the study guide even suggests that it's like a deliberate metaphor for the turmoil in Pamela's life.
Exactly. It's like she's fighting a war on two fronts. One against her addiction and the dangerous world she's caught in, because of Charles.
Right.
And the other against Kevin's abuse and control.
And just like in a war, there's collateral damage.
Right.
Raymond and Michael, even though they're young, are deeply affected by the conflict between their parents. They're caught in the crossfire, so to speak.
The study guide even suggests some role-playing activities, encouraging readers to put themselves in Raymond and Michael's shoes.
Wow.
Imagine being a child, witnessing your father's rage, trying to make sense of your mother's struggles, all while this major world event is unfolding in the background. It's a lot for anyone to process, let alone a child.
It's a stark reminder that children are often the silent victims of addiction and domestic violence. They may not fully understand what's happening, but they absorb the tension, the fear, the uncertainty. It shapes their worldview, their relationships, their sense of safety.
It breaks my heart to think about what they're going through.
Yeah.
So with all of this happening, how does Pamela cope? How does she find the strength to keep going, to mother her children when she's facing such overwhelming challenges?
That's where the theme of maternal love really shines through. Despite her flaws, despite her struggles, Pamela loves her children fiercely. And that love becomes her driving force, her anchor in the storm.
There's a scene in chapter 1 that really exemplifies this. Raymond, sensing his mother's distress, tries to comfort her. He says, "It's going to be okay, Mommy. We have each other." It's such a simple statement, but it speaks volumes about their bond, the strength they find in each other.
It's a beautiful moment of connection amidst the chaos. And it reminds us that even in the darkest of times, love can be a source of hope, a reminder that we're not alone.
But Pamela's support system isn't limited to her children. We can't forget about Charles. Despite his, questionable methods, he does offer her a sense of security, a belief that she has someone in her corner.
Right. He's the one who gives her the new identity, the
Yeah.
cash, the escape route. It's a double-edged sword, though,
Right.
because it's all tied to his criminal activities.
Right.
He's offering her a lifeline, but it's attached to a dangerous anchor.
It makes you wonder, is Charles truly trying to help Pamela? Or is he just using her for his own gain? Is his protection a form of control? It's a question that we as listeners have to grapple with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it brings us back to that central question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Charles's involvement in Pamela's life ultimately a blessing or a curse?
Right.
On one hand, he's giving her the means to escape Kevin's abuse. On the other hand, he's pulling her deeper into a world of crime and deception.
It's a complex moral dilemma, and it highlights the tangled nature of family relationships.
Yeah.
Charles's actions, though motivated by a desire to protect his sister, have far-reaching consequences that could ultimately do more harm than good.
And this is where the story's exploration of addiction becomes particularly poignant. Pamela's struggle isn't just a personal failing. It's a reflection of larger societal issues, like the lack of support systems for those battling addiction, the stigma surrounding it, and the way it can tear families apart.
The study guide even prompts us to consider the specific challenges faced by single parents who are struggling with addiction. It's a call to action, urging us to think about how we as a society can create more supportive environments for those fighting this battle.
It's a powerful message, and it underscored the importance of empathy and understanding. Addiction is not a choice, it's a disease that requires compassion, support, and access to treatment. Pamela's story reminds us that there are real people, real families grappling with these issues every day, and they deserve our compassion, not our judgment.
Absolutely. And the story doesn't shy away from the devastating consequences of addiction. We see how Pamela's drug use impacts her relationship with her children, how it creates fear and uncertainty in their lives. It's a stark portrayal of the damage that addiction can inflict, not just on the individual, but on